Hey there. Welcome to our Bright Leader series, our first one, official Bright Leader series. We're going to start talking about how to become a leader. And the thing about becoming a leader is I don't think you should wait for a title. I don't think you should wait until you have the perfect job or you're officially a manager. Like, you should work on becoming a leader today and start today, because the more that you cultivate the leadership skills in yourself, the easier it's going to be for others to see you as a leader, but also for you to transition into those official job titles. So, where does one start though in becoming a leader? Like, how do you start today? If especially if you're saying, Emily, I don't have a leadership title yet. That's okay. I would say the first thing that you should do in working on becoming a leader is to find a badass mentor. And that I remember getting that advice from time to time, and like, everybody needs a mentor, but like, how do you go about finding a mentor? That's a really can be a really challenging question, but I'm glad that you're here because I've got steps for you to find a leader or to find a mentor. You want to become a leader, you're finding a mentor. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is look around you, whether it's virtually in your virtual space or like at a physical location, if you're meeting still in person, and think like, who has it all together or seems like they have it all together? Because here's a disclaimer that you probably have learned by now, but if not, like, no one has it together. Even if they look like they have it together, they probably don't. Um, no one's perfect. Everybody struggles with stuff. But look around the room and think, who is somebody that you want to emulate? You like their energy. You like their how they handle difficult situations. You like how they have a job in a field that you want to be in like 10 or 15 years from now, and you think like, I really need to get to know this person because they have a network of people that could be potentially helpful to me. Or maybe you just like really connect with somebody and you're not quite sure why. So that's important to think about and to hold on to. And then the next thing you want to do is set up a conversation. So ask them like, "Hey, do you want to get together sometime for coffee? Do you want to have lunch? I'd love to get to ask you some questions and to talk to you more about your career and how you've gotten to where you are so far." The other thing is people love to talk about themselves. So if you and share their stories. And so if you can like like when you're asking for that meeting, to be also like clear about why you're asking for it and why you want to be setting something up, that's going to also help you have a good conversation when you get there, and potentially have the other person be a little bit more willing to meet with you even if they don't know you very well, because you're saying like, here's why I want to meet with you. It's like, oh, okay, so that's good. The next thing you want to do is do your homework. So Google the person, find them on LinkedIn, see what you can find out about their career and their educational background and like how they got to where they are. Maybe look at some of the other places that they've worked, because all that information can help inform your conversation when you go meet with that person. And so I would even say for that conversation, have a list of questions that you want to ask. And whether you ask them word for word or not, that's entirely up to you, but just like knowing and preparing ahead of time, like to be able to use that time wisely, but also like make sure that you're asking some thought provoking questions and asking some specific questions, and not just saying like, so tell me about yourself, which, I mean, that's okay, right? That's a good softball question, but I would be if somebody asked me to have this kind of a conversation, and if they came with really specific questions, or when they have come with really specific questions, that always like makes me want to help that person more, because it's clear that they've invested time in me and trying to get the meeting together and to make good use of our time. And so it's a lot easier for me to say like, hey, I'm willing to invest some time in you because you sort of like put the I don't olive branch is not the right word, but they made the first move. All right. Um And then the thing to keep in mind though is that when you're having this conversation, you can say like, "Hey, I'm looking for a mentor. Is this something that you're interested in?" You don't have to put people on the spot, so you could always tell them like, um, you know, maybe you don't have to answer this right now. You could always follow up your conversation with an email or a phone call and say, "I'd love for you to be a mentor. Here's what I'm thinking." Um, and so that also is helpful because it helps um, the other person know like what your expectations are. You're sort of setting it from the beginning. So you could say something like, "I'm working on becoming a leader, and so I'm looking for a mentor who'd be willing to meet with me once every other month or once a quarter or every other week." I don't know, whatever seems reasonable in your world and for like the goals that you have. But you're looking for somebody who's willing to meet with you to just sort of like bounce some ideas off of and help you move along your way. And the other thing is, when you set up these relationships, you want to value and honor them. You don't want to take advantage of somebody's time, or like, you really want to, when you show up to those mentoring conversations, like really bring your A game, because somebody who you really like and respect, and hopefully it's not that difficult for you to bring your A game because you really like and respect this person, but you want to make sure that you're showing up and you're present and that you're giving it your all and you're being honest and authentic, because that's how you're going to get the most out of the relationship, and also hopefully open that door for the other person to sort of like mirror how open and honest that you're being. Because here's the thing, like, having a mentor is priceless. Like, you cannot put a price tag on it. And the mentors that I've had have made a huge impact in my life, because they are people who care about me, who have cared about my career, have cared about where I'm going, but they're not a parent, and they're not somebody that I'm related to in most cases. And and so it's sort of this like outside person who has this totally different set of experiences, and they're willing to shepherd you along the way. And mentors are also priceless because they're your advocate. So they, as much as they can, they will try to help you and connect you. Mentors are really awesome because they will call you out on your crap and tell you that you're like, that's, I don't know if that's the right way to go, or are you being honest with yourself? Like, those are questions that it's very difficult for anybody else to ask, but a mentor is somebody who can ask that question, and you're maybe not going to get as upset about, because you know that they have a lot of experience, and they also have your best interests in mind. And they really can be a sounding board too, when you're like, there's been a few times where I've thought like, I don't know what I'm going to do next, and having a mentor who can help you along the way can be really valuable. And so while we're on that topic, I guess I have like 3 or 4 people that I'd like to give a shout out to. There are a whole group of women that I used to work with at Metropolitan Cardiology Consultants when I was in high school, and that group of people really showed me that like you can have fun at work, but also get work done. And I think I learned so much from them at the time that I didn't really appreciate until much later. Karen Havhome, who I worked with as a grad student, and she really just like is awesome. She's such an awesome leader and manager, but her style is sometimes a little bit understated. But again, I don't think I recognized until later how amazing she is. And then also Cindy Hofacker, who I worked next to at UW Eau Claire for a very long time. And she is just, Cindy taught me that that like you can be a parent and you can have a career, and that it's possible, even though sometimes it is ugly and not always very fun, but that there's a way to do it and you can be successful in both. But she really helped me in so many ways. And then probably the last person is John Werner, who was my professor at UW Whitewater, and I sort of say is too because we've been working together on some research for a long time, and he hasn't given up on me even when I wanted to give up on myself. And I think that's the other thing about a mentor too, is that they will be there in your very hardest moments, and will be there to sort of like say, okay, you can do it. I know you can do it. So it's worth finding a mentor. It's worth it, and they will help you in so many ways. So take this opportunity to sort of say, okay, I'm going to put finding a mentor on my list. And it's not going to just happen overnight. Like I said, it has to be intentional. You have to like do your homework. You have to be thinking about who you want to have the conversation with and like how you're going to cultivate the relationship and how you're going to set expectations. But all of it is completely worth it and you won't be disappointed. So, if you already have a mentor, make sure to tag them here. If you know of a friend or somebody else who's working on becoming a leader and they are struggling with sort of like what to do next, make sure to tag them here too. All right, times are weird, but you will get through this. Keep rocking, and I look forward to seeing you back here soon.